Welcome to Style Zephyr, brought to you by the Alec Bradley Cigar Company, home of cigars like Tempus, Coil, Sanctum, Mundial, and Cigar Aficionado's 2011 Cigar of the Year, the Prensado. Makers of premium cigars since 1996. Live true with Alec Bradley. And now your hosts, Kevin Quinn and Arthur Mingo.
Alrighty folks, this is Kevin coming at you with another episode of Style Zephyr. We're going to jump right on into this bad boy. Got a really great friend of mine on the line right now, one of our first official interviews on the show. Amazing friend of mine. We got Miss Heather Miller with us. Heather, how are you doing tonight?
Very well, Kevin. Thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. A little old, a little tired, feeling a little gassy, but otherwise just another day in paradise, right? Yep. Heather and I are...
I can feel you on that.
Right. We're both very ladylike in the gaseous anomalies department. Both old college buddies, and kind of started to pursue our own little life passions as far as style and fashion and kind of like the lifestyle around it, and wanted to start dabbling a little bit more into the ladies' needs and necessities as far as style goes. Now, Heather, you're into, I think I'm going to say it right again, aesthesiology. How did I do?
Sure, great. Aesthesiology, aesthetics, whatever rolls off the tongue better for you. I usually say aesthetics personally.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Now, for the folks not too familiar with that, because again, not too many other podcasts are going to kind of dabble into both for guys and the gals. So as far as from a lady's perspective, just kind of, what kind of starts it for you, and, what kind of just made that inspiration or that muse for you as far as getting into like an industry or a craft or, a trade even like that?
Well, it started for me when I was about 13, 14. My mom, I've always had like dry skin that's been pretty sensitive. And my mom, when I was 13, she's like, okay, it's time for you to start, doing a skincare routine, because it's important to start young and protecting your skin. And, it's time, you're old enough now to be allowed to start wearing makeup, a little more on like a daily basis. So she took me to the Clinique counter and, got me products for my skin and everything, but they actually didn't really do anything to help it. They just made it worse. So that got me started on really trying and doing a lot of online research on different products and trying things out and finding what was going to work best for me personally. And I've always been a very artistic, creative person. So really, as far as like color theory, shade and light, everything like that, makeup especially just ties very naturally into that. And so really, I think it's a great career, especially for those creative, artistic people out there who enjoy working on the skin as well.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Now, see, and even personally speaking, because I tend to have, just in bridging that gap more between the, ladies and gents, even for guys, I think as I started getting older a little bit more, I started realizing that I had, in certain areas like more dry, more flaky skin.
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider it effeminate or like not, kind of like compromising masculinity even for guys to have, even like a skincare regimen, or whether it's moisturizing or...
No, absolutely not. I think it is something that is essential for all humans, as far as you get into your, getting into your teens and your young adult age, because it's all about protecting your skin and prevention. It's just so crucial to keeping the skin balanced and healthy, and that goes for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually becoming even more and more common for men to start trying more skincare. I would say the men's skincare industry, like part of that industry, has really boomed the last several years. I used to work at Ulta Beauty for a while, of course, and they had several men's lines. I've seen many, many men's lines.
Mm-hmm. I can take my time to Google, and whether it's a matter of Ask Men or GQ or so on and so forth, it just seems that even for guys alone, there's just so many different avenues and so many different options and varieties. And is there a right answer? Or I think if it's keels, like I see them on Michigan Avenue quite often, and they try to, kind of diagnose like the, how hydrated your skin is and whatnot. Kind of going back a little bit more to ladies, when you realized for yourself at that age, like that 13, 14 years old, what was kind of where can you start with that? Like, where does, because we can get into brands and fragrances and colors.
Hmm.
What are like basic essentials? Like, what are fundamentals for the craft?
As far as a routine or as far as my career?
Well, let's start with your career. What would you say, like, kind of got you started on, for where you have gone to now?
Well, I've tried so many things nowadays, like over the years, that I don't really remember like what one of my first products probably was. Although I do recall a certain St. Ives moisturizer. I think it was their vitamin E and collagen moisturizer in a jar that I particularly liked for quite some time, until it decided to stop working for me several years later. But that kind of thing happens. Your skin does go through a shift every 7 years, your skin and your body itself.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have like noticed when those shifts happen for me over time. It's usually nothing major, but I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as me being inspired with my career, I would say it really started back when I was around like 2021. I was driving around town back in Springfield one day, and I was thinking, I've been working 2 jobs for a while now, but I've not really gone to college. What would I really like to do for my career? And makeup and skincare was always a passion for me, especially getting more and more into it in high school and trying more things. And one day I saw a billboard for Springfield's cosmetology and aesthetics school, and I thought to myself, wow, I think this could be something that I very much enjoy. And so I told my parents about it, and they said, well, if you feel passionate about it, we think you should go for it. So they were always very encouraging of me as far as what I had a lot of interest in.
And even to take it even further as far as how training and education goes. So, if maybe, for example, if you want to be a chef, you go to Le Cordon Bleu. If you want to be an automotive engineer, you go to maybe like a certified, maybe like in a junior college program, or if there's any programs like that. If you wanted to pursue that training even more for yourself, or even making recommendations for younger girls or younger ladies who might want to go through, let's just say, like in a perfect world type setup, what do you think would be like an ideal career path? Or is it just a matter of using what best resources you have for you and doing your own research? Or what would you say is like in a perfect world scenario? Like, is it certification? Is it college? Or what would you recommend?
Well, I definitely recommend if you're getting into aesthetics, you want to go to a good cosmetology/aesthetics school or program at a specific school for that. One that will require you to meet every requirement to be eventually licensed by your state, because each state does have certain qualifications as far as how many hours of education you need, how many hours of continuing education you need every year or 2 years to renew your license. So continuing education, education, that's a huge factor. I definitely recommend taking as many classes as you would like to or you can, because the more you study those different treatments, the more you find different techniques to do your different services and treatments, whether you decide to specialize across the board, whether you specialize in makeup or skincare specifically, or even face and body waxing specifically. That is so important, because the more you get that education, the more you will stand out to your employers and the more you'll learn.
Even in that regards, then, is there anything such a thing as maybe like could ladies or even gentlemen, whatever, are there internships or can you get mentorships, or is it just a matter of kind of like field work? Or because even like because we both met at UIS, and I decided to get my minor in theater, and in order to finish it you had to do what they called the practicum, and it was literally you had to work hands-on on a U of I stage production. That was for ECCE, or ECCE. That was essentially like the internship program. So that was when I had interned at Midwest Family Broadcasting. And even then, in terms of competition, would it be like being a communication guy in Chicago, thinking my balls were bigger than the mountains, and all of a sudden, I got interviewed by Q101. It was still legitimately Q101 at that time. Had a huge prospect in working there in a sales position. Next thing you know, they had got acquired, that got liquidated, and even then, you still got Columbia, you got the Illinois Center for Broadcasting, you have these various avenues of training, and even if local community colleges or even if UIC had any classes, and then of course all that talent getting injected back into the job market, and now 101.1, whatever it is, in whatever form now being what it is. What's like the competition as far as that? Like, is it like a healthy environment still, or is it? Is it affected by the online commerce as brick and mortars now have to deal with, or how has that environment become?
Well, I would say you're talking more as far as competition while you're looking for positions in that career?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, granted, yes, the beauty industry, of course, has blown up within the last, even 10, 15 years. There's been so much growth, exponential growth. And so granted, the competition has increased quite a bit. I would say the key is you really want to make sure you have that eloquent professional presence with your clients while still being able to foster and maintain really good relationships. And you really want to know how to learn your client's skin almost as if it was your own. And you also want to, of course, like I said before, get that education, find some kind of trick or technique in your work that makes you stand out above the others who, say they're good at facials, but it's just pretty basic. If there's some way, or if you get really good at facial massage, somehow you can incorporate something unique into your work.
Well, hey, it's all about that self-marketing, so that's very admirable. That's, I don't know about you folks, but I got a whole new appreciation for this so far. Heather, thank you so much. We're going to take a really quick break. All that and more with Ms. Heather Miller on some really great makeup tutorials. We're going to go back into a little bit more into her style, inspiration, and some outlook and insight for the rest of us. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Alan Rubin, and I'm the founder and owner of the Alec Bradley Cigar Company. For 20 years, Alec Bradley has been raising and reinventing the bar for premium cigars. Based in the United States, we grow, harvest, and handcraft the finest cigars utilizing the highest quality tobaccos from around the world. Our quality has been featured in numerous publications worldwide, including Cigar Aficionado, winning Cigar Aficionado's Cigar of the Year in 2011 with our Prensado line. While we're proud of our accomplishments, we're most proud of doing what we do with passion and an emphasis on family. We oversee every aspect of cigar manufacturing with a care and attention to detail that is unmatched. The end results are cigars that bring people together, enhance relationships, and moments that are well-deserved by those who choose to participate. At Alec Bradley, we have our own flavor, uniqueness, and style. Each cigar is its own experience and is true to itself. As a first-generation cigar maker, we don't have generational history, but we honor the timeless traditions associated with fine cigars, and it's time for us to start our own traditions. So come live true with Alec Bradley. For more information, please visit us at www.alecbradley.com. We proudly pair Alec Bradley with Style Zephyr to be true to you.
Hello there. Welcome to Retail Row on Style Zephyr A lot of people have strong feelings about online shopping versus local small businesses and brick and mortars that make up our communities. The truth is, there are some very passionate and well-experienced folks out there that are experts at the craft and want to help teach you how to shop and buy better. Tune in to Retail Row on Style Zephyr, where folks with experience and expertise in their respective industry will shed light on their own inspiration to help your style be true to you.
And we're back. Thank you again so much for tuning in to this episode of Style Zephyr. Heather, thank you once again for taking the time to be with me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Because we're going to get into just some more personal inspirations to kind of wind things down. Career-wise and, I guess, advice and suggestions, as we were just talking about our inspirations from the movie Devil Wears Prada, and it seems that just so many people who kind of get into the industry, or if you're just a fan of fashion in general, you've taken some tidbits and inspiration from that. So from, your rightful age or up there of 27, I think. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you're 27. From when the day that you started up until now, and hoping that you're at least happy or content at least now where you are in your career, what kind of advice or suggestions would you give to boy, girl, man, woman that want to start out in that industry as far as training, or maybe are hesitant if they're intimidated or scared by anything? What do you think that maybe even like a younger you might tell you, or what would you tell these folks that want to start this?
I mean, really the key is passion. You have to find something that you feel like you're going to be happy with, even if it's 10, 30 years down the line. And what I love about the aesthetics field personally, one of my favorite things is that you have so many options as far as where you can go with it. Like I mentioned before, you can specialize in skincare, especially. You can specialize in the makeup artistry. You can specialize in waxing. You can choose to specialize in any combination of those three. I would say, me personally, I lean most towards skincare and makeup artistry because those are my favorite to do. And you also have so much flexibility as far as where you can work. You can work in, for example, a hotel spa. You can work in a cruise ship at their spa. You can work doing makeup artistry for, say, even a nightclub for their performers. So you really have so many places that you can go. And as long as you keep up with, if, say, for example, you move states, you'll have to check the new state's licensing requirements for that career because it does vary from state to state. I would say what I love about being in Illinois as an esthetician is we have some of the highest standards for estheticians in the United States, and that way it makes things a little easier. Say down the line, if I choose to move to a different state, I'll probably have most, if not all, of my qualifications already.
Well, I mean, even from your initial kind of input as far as this, the industry and just kind of applying yourself to everything and just being aware of more things, personally speaking for folks, like there's a handful of things that, if ever made me self-conscious, and, the condition of my skin is one of them. And that's pretty important. And, even nowadays with all these different health risks and, exposure to whatnot and how risky it is. It's great stuff, great information, so it's a lot of very helpful information in there. And then, so to kind of keep on rolling with things, we're just going to kind of, a little bit more casual, a little bit more on the shallow end, your personal style. So like with myself, guys, guys like Arthur, and yes, even Heather is an old classmate of good old Mingo. Misses her Mingo, as we all do. Everybody needs a little Mingo in their life.
I would say so.
Yeah, he's pretty...
Everybody loves a Mingo.
It's true. He's pretty adamant that I'm one of those guys who, like, if I could have been born in any other time, it would have definitely been the 20s. And it wasn't even me saying that. It was just him. And so I would pretty much say that I am classic with a vintage twist.
Very much so.
Oh, yeah. See, everybody. So for a gal like yourself, you are my pinup lady. How would you kind of describe yourself as far as how you've evolved over years, or to just where you are now and how you personally see your sense of yourself?
Well, for me, I was a little more casual, but I was kind of a late bloomer. So once I really kind of got comfortable with myself and my body and got a little more extroverted, I would say my style definitely changed with that. I'm very girly girl. I am very feminine. So I do much prefer to wear things like dresses, skirts, nice tops. I do have a particular fascination with lace. I also very much enjoy the vintage style clothing as well, although I not own as many pieces of that style more so myself just yet. I am a huge admirer, and I follow several pinup girls on I follow quite a few pinup girls on Instagram, as well as I sort of have a little pinup board on Pinterest for style inspiration as well.
Nice.
Although I'll say they are much more willing to spend a lot of time on their hair than I am. I'd much rather work on my face.
That is so true. Like it's like when I think of like pinups, it's always like thinking of like your grandma or like great grandparents and whatnot, and like looking at their hair, or like you watch old movies, like you watch like The Rocketeer, or like you watch Boardwalk Empire, and like those older like whoa.
Typically coiffed hair, like a whole can of hairspray in it.
Yeah.
I do not have the time or the want to do that. I am too lazy to do that majority of the time.
You know how cool that would look? Like, I would see you and just be like, what? It would be like the Brian Griffin, like your freaking jaw hits the tabletop and just goes, oh my god, she did that. Like,
well, who knows, doll, one day might surprise you. I do have a set of hot rollers, so you never know.
My god. I mean, Halloween is coming, who knows? Or even then, if we happen to have, like, it's always like around December where they always have those prohibition parties where it's always like 1920s themed and whatnot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'd one of those.
Yeah, like I haven't been to one in a few years.
Party.
I think Templeton Rye sponsored it. It was at the Chicago History Museum, and that is such a cool time. And you're supposed to win prizes if you come dressed up, and it's like naturally, like I look at everybody's picture, I was like, I want to outdress him. I want to outdress him. I want to outdress her.
You pay more attention to style than probably any other guy I know.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we
Sorry, definitely more than any other guy that I know.
Oh, thank you. It's actually patent pending, but I'm going to tell you when we got off the interview about an idea that I had about as far as a prototype for reinventing the pump. I think that you will find it quite interesting.
Sounds fascinating. I'd like to hear about it.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course, again, it's patent pending, so just got to make sure there's, we're off the beaten trail with it, and if things go well, maybe, yeah.
Got to keep it on the hush-hush.
It's true, on the DL. But if all goes well, maybe I'll throw you a free pair. Who knows?
Sounds good to me. I do love a good pair of pumps.
For sure. I would also, but I would have to shave my legs first. And I don't, in between my thigh waxings, I don't have time to shave my legs. I'm sorry. I don't have the threshold.
Well, hey, if you need thigh waxings, you know who to call.
I'm going to book it. Alrighty, folks. I'm going to check my schedule. Oh, good
Can't
Lord.
wait.
Yeah,
Can't
for
wait.
sure. This is mostly a PG show, folks. My apologies for the brief lapse in professionalism. But they are my thighs, and they're very important to me. And it's summertime. For sure. And even then, because I wasn't going to judge you too much, but even then, as far as, I think the last time we had gone out, I think you had wound up wearing, like, one of those lace tops. And, I mean, it was a colder day anyways, I think. But it did look pretty darn nice on you. Are you, like, a fan of Etsy at all for, like, the more artisan styles, or just kind of whatever, like, looks good in your eye?
Just kind of has a pretty good price and catches my eye. I do a lot of shopping online. So, I mean, granted, which isn't the best idea for me, considering I can be kind of hard to fit, but I've had some pretty good luck lately.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
I also love if I can find anything good at, say a TJ Maxx or a Nordstrom Rack, I'm all about it.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, like, I have nothing against Marshalls. Like, I went shopping a few weeks ago, just kind of, like, checking the racks out, and we were just talking about Alan Edmonds' shoes a little while ago, and they're a couple $100 shoes, and the next thing you know, I think it was at the Marshalls, and there's a pair of $150 Alan Edmonds, like, refurbished, super wide 10.5s, and I'm just like, my God, if I didn't want to drown in that shoe, I would have been all over that guy. Just saying.
Oh, darn.
I know, big shoes, big shoes.
Yes.
Well, Heather, we're gonna be winding this on down. It's been a big old day here in the Windy City, and you've got some amusement parking to do tomorrow, and I've got some day off to do tomorrow. So,
Absolutely. Sounds delightful.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the time with me today. I'm gonna try to have Heather on every so often, as far as just kind of throwing out some style tips or anything for anybody. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave with a quick thing. As far as just like rules of thumb for anything, do you have any like suggestions for folks, or maybe like anything that maybe like you notice the most on the street and you kind of want to get off your shoulder, or tips or advice, or for guys or gals or anything really quick?
No advice right now, except ladies, I don't want to see your ass when you're wearing shorts. I mean, I will admire, but I don't want to see them going up the booty crack at all.
It's true. It's like you don't even know my name and I'm already introduced to
Especially if you're underage. Especially if you're under 18, ladies and gentlemen.
especially
Please.
the gentlemen, just in case. You never
Cover that up.
It's 2017. I don't judge too much. All right.
True. It's just something that rubs me the wrong way. I mean, maybe in a different setting, sure, but especially if you're a teenager. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's true. It's just creepy. Heather, my dear.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Does your mom know you left dressed like that?
Be like, yeah, she bought it for me.
No? Oh dear.
You're like, oh God, no. Oh God, no.
See, and I mean, granted, of course, once you're 18, dress the way you want. I don't care, honey. You do you. Embrace your personal style, but when I was that age, we had what was called the bend over test. So if we bought skirts or dresses that did not cover everything while you were still bent over, then it was a no-go.
Like, as I like to say, the trunk was open. You can see the groceries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool beans. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Pretty straight and narrow. Yeah, good times.
Mhm.
Heather, my love, thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Folks, have a good night. This is Style Zephyr. Remember to be true to you.